As you guys can see, it is another rainy day here in Georgia. So no fishing for today. The weather is just not working with me, but I've got other plans. Alright, so since the weather is so bad, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to go fishing for a while, I'm going to put together a trotlining series for you guys. It's going to be 3 or 4 videos, and it's going to detail almost every aspect of it. Enough to get you out there giving it a shot. Let's go. Alright, so before we get started, I wanted you to see what I'm talking about when I say certain things. So this is your main line. This is the line that you're going to anchor and pull across the water. This is a drop. So your drop is can be 10, 14 inches, whatever, however you want it to be. So you got your clip on the end, got your hook on the other end. When you anchor your main line off, you start running your main line out. When you go to add your drops just hook in between the beads. So for the sake of this video, so you know what I'm talking about, this is a drop, and then this is your main line. Alright, so method number 1 for laying your trot line. This is called the anchor method. What I'm going to show you is the simplest way. This is my preferred way to do it 9 times out of 10. So you take your body of water or your lake, and then around the edges you've got trees. And you have trees that have broke off and fell in the water. So the first thing you need to do is, number 1, pick where you want to lay your trot line. Number 2 is find you a down tree or a tree that's sitting right at the water's edge that you want to attach your main line to. Once you find the tree, you take your main line and you attach it to the base of the tree that you want to attach it to. This is going to be your anchor point, your main anchor point. And then in your boat or your kayak or however you choose to do it, you're going to run your main line out as far as it'll go. Alright, and then when you get it out as far as you can go, you're going to put some kind of weight on the end. I like to use a rotor. So you're going to drop it into the water. The next step is you've got to get your hooks baited. So if you're going to run 25 hooks, I usually anchor out at this point, and then I go ahead and bait all my hooks, get them ready to go, just kind of lay them beside me in the boat. Next step is I'm going to I will paddle back to the front, grab your main line, pull it up into the boat, and then as you pull yourself along, you're going to start attaching your drops. And you just work your way down. These are your drops, and I'll just do a few little, these little things commas represent the hooks. Alright, so when you get to the bottom, your main line is now going to be loose. That main line has got to be tight to get hook sets. Has to be. So from just pulling the line up, as you walking it down, as you walking the line down, the water's more than likely going to be getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So you're going to be pulling more and more slack into your line. So when you get here, go ahead and pull that rotor back up, or whatever weight you've got on there, and paddle yourself back out. Make sure this line gets taut, and then drop your rotor. And then you're ready to go. You move on to the next line. Alright, so method 2. I don't really have a specific name for this. I know it as channel anchoring. Instead of just anchoring like with a tree, this is done in the main channel. So here's your channel. And the deepest part is going to be somewhere in the middle. And that's where you want to attack. Not from here in, or you want to go from, just attack this main channel. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to go out here in your boat, you're going to go ahead and tie your rotor to your main line. There's your rotor, and it's tied to your main line. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and sink that down in the water. Once it hits bottom, you're going to go ahead and pull your line all the way as far as it'll go. Attach your rotor with a tag line with a float on it of some sort. This float you can use for retrieval. You know where your trot line is laid, and also you can tag them if you're required to do so in your state. You can also do it on the other end, which I would highly recommend. That way you can work your tension out. It's just a float. Alright, so once your lines are laid, get them tight. You can go ahead and bait your hooks. You can start back on this end or this end, doesn't really matter. And then you're just going to go in and pick this one side up, put your drops on, and sink it back down in the water. And then you'll proceed. Your line's going to get slack this way because you're going to have to pick up your main line a long ways. Proceed putting your drops on. Pull your other rotor back up. Work your hooks all the way to the end. This is my terrible way of drawing hooks and drops. Then you're going to use this line, pull your rotor up. You're going to pull this way to get all the tension out of your line and let it go. So then you can mark here, your name here, name there, if you're required to do so in your state. And now you're running the main channel. This is going to be a perfect daytime way to run your trot lines. If you're going to run them in the daytime, this is how I would do it. Method 3. This way is a lot like method 2, except for your retrieval way. It's completely different. So there's your water. You're going to attach your rotor to your main line. You're going to use the same process you did in step 2, method 2. Get you stretched out here. Except for you're not going to use your floats. They go to the top. You're not going to use those. What you're going to do is you're going to run a tag line from here to a tree or a log or whatever you've got. You can do it on both ends. Now, what this method will do, everything's the same as method 2. You're going to drop your line in, you're going to bait your drops all the way down, you're going to pull the tension out, sink her down, go back to the other and pull it. Just this line has to be tight, the main line does. Alright, so your tag lines, these are actually going to be sunken lines. You can add a brick or a weight here if it starts to raise up out of the water a little bit. It shouldn't. Remember, you always want to tie very low to trees or whatever you attach to, low as you can. You don't want to get your line up to where it'll catch somebody's prop. Now, this method may or may not be legal in your state. It's a good way to keep potential line cutters from knowing where your lines are. It's a good way to prevent everybody who drives by possibly knowing where your trot line is, as well as, you know, when people see this float sticking out of the water, there's always a chance of somebody trying to pick it up and check it, putting slack in your line and causing you to miss your hook sets. So this is method 3. It's going to be a channel method with an anchor tag. Alright, so last but not least, method 4. This is my least used method. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever used this method. But this is going to be bank to bank anchoring. So if you go down a small river channel, you'll simply tie your line off to a tree. You'll run the line across to another tree, your main line, and you'll attach here. Probably going to want to put a weight here. I'll do a rotor just so, because that's what I've been doing, to hold the line down. And then you'll simply just go from bank to bank and then, you know, add your drops. Now this may be a very productive way of doing things. I like to run long trot lines. I like to run them, you know, where I want to run them at. There are places that I can do this, and I may do a couple videos of attempting to do this, because it's going to pretty much, no fish is going to cross over without being presented your bait. But this is a method that I don't use much. I see a lot of people do it and they have success with it, so not to take away from, usually have the ability to stretch all the way across the lake or reservoir where I'm fishing at. This is method 4, bank to bank anchoring, and you'll catch anything that tries to swim across this channel. You're going to be there to intercept them. So the method you want to use is up to you. These are just the 4 ways that I know how to do it, and I primarily use method 1 and 2. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments and I will get back with you. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in the next one.